Before I get into this video, I just want to let people know there's going to be no editing in of screenshots. This is going to be more of a podcast style video just to get my feelings out there. If you do want to watch more in-depth videos, there are videos by Omnia and Harley TBS which will go over the situation in more detail. It took me a while to wrap my head around this situation, well, a few days, but it was a considerable amount of time in internet time. It's no secret that Creepshow Art Shannon has supported my channel, and I won't deny it. She made 2 videos discussing Katie Morton allegedly copyright striking my channel and how she allegedly hid my YouTube name in her comments. She's come into my live streams and we've occasionally chatted in the DMs. Shannon has been nice to me, which is why a lot of this information coming out about her was really hard to hear. There is one thing that I would like to clear up. Originally in my Hopeless Peaches video regarding her quote-unquote medication shaming or misrepresentation of medication, which is a video I still stand by the way. You have to be accurate when talking about medication, because otherwise you could accidentally or indirectly spread harmful messages about medication, and therefore I don't allow anybody to be inaccurate when talking about medication, no matter who you are. There used to be a part in there about how I really liked and admired Omnia, and more particularly because of this situation, Creepshow Art Shannon. And the reason that I said those things was because of the context of what I would say afterwards, which is you can allegedly lie about these people even though I really like them because it's only really going to affect them. But when you make statements and show misleading screenshots about medication, it will affect anybody who watches that video. And therefore the reason I said those things weren't because I was attempting to white knight or displaying my absolute biases. It was more me saying, hey, look, I really like these people. I'm going to admit to really liking these people, and I really care about these people. However, the medication part is the part that bothered me. That's why I said those things. It wasn't me trying to say, hey, I made this video because I really want to simp for these people. No, it was context into me saying, hey, these alleged lies are small potatoes compared to harmful messages. I have cut that part out of the video now because a lot of people got confused, but that was the context behind it. I didn't put that part in the video to explain the entire reason that I made this video is because I super like 2 creators. Context matters, so I thought I would just get that part out of the way. No, I didn't make that video originally because I super like Omnia and Shannon. I do really like Omnia, and I still like Shannon because I can't deny the fact that she was nice to me, but all of the things that she has done for me does not negate the information that has come out. I have very simple criteria for covering a person on my channel. If someone presents harm to others, particularly children and or animals, and or a person manipulates/extorts their audience, I'll cover them. Whether we've never spoken, whether we are civil and friendly, or whether we've known each other for years. If you violate my very simple criteria, I'll cover you. So let's get on to the current news. I didn't know about the lolcow post when Shannon originally posted on her community tab regarding what she said happened, which is that somebody had spoofed her IP and posted anonymously on the lolcow forums, trashing her friends, herself, and doxing her sister. I had no idea that the people at lolcow, the admins, had actually leaked an entire post history they claim is actually Shannon's because it matched up with multiple IP addresses, MAC addresses, and devices, all used and owned by Shannon. So I commented on the post, believing her story that this had been somebody impersonating her, somebody that she has made a video on before in the past, who she refers to as Amy, a person who had allegedly stalked her for 8 years. And then further news came out. A YouTuber called Emily Artful posted on her Twitter that she had mixed emotions about these leaks because she felt that she could finally talk about the fact that Shannon had allegedly stalked and harassed her for years. Possibly the Amy story that Shannon had released previously was actually everything that Shannon had done. Now, Emily is currently compiling receipts from different devices. She said she's gone through like 3 phones and 3 laptops since it's happened, but she says she has everything on her hard drive and will release them in due time. I'm not sure what to think of this. People have said that Emily is quite legitimate, but again, I don't like to judge information that hasn't been released yet based on the reputation of a source, because on the flip side, there is something called the genetic fallacy, wherein people trust information based on the source. It's often used to discredit evidence by saying, this source is untrustworthy and has been very untrustworthy in the past, and therefore we can't believe this conclusive evidence. So I would like to judge the information based on the information, although I'm inclined to believe Emily at this point. As to why I believe Emily at this point, or am inclined to believe her, is based off the reactions of the friends of Shannon, who had multiple posts made about them by Shannon anonymously on these forums, some of them including some very derogatory language and slurs. Notably, Ready to Glare originally, like me, posted out support for Shannon until further information came in where she retracted that statement, deleting the tweet and tweeting out that she was heartbroken. These are friends of Shannon, and reportedly many have tried to talk to her about this and she just isn't giving any information. According to Shannon, she's going to deal with this legally and offline, but a lot of things don't add up. For example, Shannon claimed to Tipster in private that she was receiving multiple privacy complaints and multiple copyright strikes, but wasn't willing to share any of the information because it could impact a legal case. But that wouldn't have anything to do with the posts. I'm sorry, that's a lie. It really wouldn't affect anything in court. It would be just extra information, but would have little to no bearing on the actual case Shannon would have in regards to her being harassed or defamed, allegedly, by this person, Amy. Because if this were to be true, in my perspective, I would go after Amy, if I were Shannon, for the lolcow posts, for spoofing her IP. I would go after her for defamation and impersonation. That would be my main goal, and anything to do with privacy strikes or copyright strikes would be extra. It's just something that you could use to show that you were telling the truth in some regard, and to not show it is very suspicious. It's also strange that when talking to her friends, she would say, don't defend me, don't talk about me and try and defend me, it's best to dissociate from me. I don't know why. If you were innocent of this, you would ask for your friends to dissociate from you. Maybe if you are truly benevolent and want your friends to not have to deal with any of the consequences for sticking up for you, and then it turns out that actually you were lying, then that's why you would say that. But if you were innocent, why would you tell your friends to not defend you? There's a whole lot of sus, and I'm not sure exactly what to make of this. Because on one hand, yes, it is extremely dedicated for a person to spoof multiple IP addresses, MAC addresses, and devices, which you would have to have access to someone's device. Question mark, not too great about technology. I have consulted the tech elders, didn't understand a word they said, but these things are possible to do. It's just, you'd have to be dedicated. It's not hard, but it would take a long time and you'd have to be quite proficient at it. On the other hand, it is also quite dedicated to post on a forum anonymously for 2 years in third person. So I want to know the why of this. Why did Shannon do this outside of potentially stirring more drama for content or promoting her channel and memberships? Why? And I don't like the answer that I get when people are like, oh, well, why not? Because that could also be a reason as to why somebody would spoof IPs. Why not? Why not do it? So I don't like the why nots, because the why nots could justify both the posting and also the alleged spoofing of IPs. I want to know the why. Why did this happen? And I don't want to hear people bring up DID as a speculative reason. I've seen several people do this, and it's all clear you learnt about DID from Dissociated. Let's not go into that. That's not what persecutors are. That's not how this works. You can't just speculate, well, maybe she's got split personality and that's why she can't remember these things. No, because number one, that shows a great misunderstanding of DID, and also at the same time really takes away the community concept of system responsibility. If in a hypothetical situation this was true, it's still not a justification or an excuse, so let's just not go into that. Let's stop. With the mounting evidence that we have thus far, and without any evidence coming from Shannon, I'm inclined to believe that this is true. I think Amy personally was real, but has been used as a scapegoat in this situation. And Shannon, you've probably heard this over and over, but it's best to come clean or bring some evidence forward. You can't just disappear, because if you disappear, you are going to leave a massive question mark in the minds of your audience. If you disappear forever, it harms them. They're going to feel manipulated and lied to. As for your friends, they feel manipulated and lied to. And that is a clear violation of my criteria. Harm to others and manipulation of audiences. You need to do something other than say, I'm handling this offline. Because this isn't just affecting you, this is affecting everybody who was a fan of you and anyone who was friends with you. If you manage to pull it out of the hat and bring forth some evidence, some solid evidence that clears you of everything, I will eat my own hat. I don't own a hat, but I will buy one and I will eat one. Because it's really harmful to the community that you have cultivated, and I can't see it going any other way than guilty. I'm really sorry. I know trial by social media isn't the best, and if for some reason you are fighting a legal case, you know there are things that you can share to indicate your innocence otherwise without meddling with that case. And I'm left wondering if anything that you did to help me was truly to help me. And I wasn't even a friend of yours. We were friendly, we were civil, we occasionally had short talks, but I'm sat here wondering if any of that was real, and I can't imagine how your closest friends feel. That's it, folks. A brief explanation of events, some inconsistencies, and how I feel about it. I feel like to every lie there's a sprinkle of truth, but finding those truths are going to be a lot harder than usual in this situation. I'm really sorry to her friends. I hope you guys managed to find some answers at the very least, because this wasn't just somebody speaking nastily on a forum. This was a lot more than that over the course of 2 years, and also her sister's social media being doxed, use of slurs. It's a lot. It's not just posting anonymously on a forum for a little bit. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.